Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits. In the recent times I've made a video on Mars's direct transit in the sign of Gemini, also the monthly transit update for the month of March. I had mentioned in my Mars transit in Gemini video that during this transit we could see some very heated political discussions, debates, argument between prominent political leaders. And we have all witnessed what happened recently between Trump and Zelensky in terms of their discussion that has come out in the open in the media and is one of the most talked about subject at this time. We have to be extra cautious. We have to be absolutely careful while venting out our emotions and not follow a reactive approach. Think before we speak. And I do expect this drama to continue. You can watch that video for the full analysis, which is available on my channel. Today this video is about Venus going retrograde in the sign of Pisces on 2nd of March, and it is going to stay in a retrograde motion till 12th of April. For about 43 days Venus is going to turn retrograde or Vakri, which means it would appear to be moving in the reverse direction. However, it is not actually moving in the reverse direction. When a planet goes retrograde, it appears to be more closer to the Earth in terms of its proximity. So in the night sky, Venus will be absolutely visible for the next few days. So the brightest object in the night sky after the moon is Venus. Make sure that you watch and connect with Venus. When a planet goes retrograde, it brings karmic repercussions from the previous birth. Venus represents our interaction with other people, relationship, harmony. So definitely this time is quite intense and it is going to bring in some karmic repercussions. During this transit, Venus is having some intense conjunction, and this is something which I have shared in my monthly transit video as well. Venus is conjoined Rahu and Mercury. Mercury is debilitated in Pisces, Venus is exalted in Pisces, and Mercury is also going to go retrograde mid of this month. So there is heavy karma with regards to relationship, communication, conflicts and harmony amongst people. Now Venus will also be joined by Sun, Moon and Saturn. We'll have a 6th planetary conjunction on 29th of March, the day of solar eclipse. 2 weeks before that, on 14th of March, we will have the total lunar eclipse. So lunar eclipse signifies ending, solar eclipse signifies beginning. So if you're running through Dasha, Antardasha, Pratantardasha of Venus, Mercury, Sun, Moon, Saturn, or if you have prominent planets in the sign of Pisces, Virgo, even if you're going through Dasha, Antardasha of Jupiter, because currently Jupiter and Venus, they are involved in a Parivartana Yoga. Jupiter is in the sign of Taurus, Venus is in the sign of Pisces, and I have made a detailed video on this as well, which is available on my channel. You're also likely to be impacted by this transit. So when an exalted planet goes retrograde, I do not consider it very positive because it starts acting as a debilitated planet. Now thankfully Venus has got some support of Mercury, which is there during this transit, also Rahu, and Rahu considers Venus as his guru because Venus is the Daitya guru of the Daityas or Rakshasas. Therefore Rahu listens to Venus, and Venus still has a greater say, a greater dignity in this overall 6th planetary conjunction. Venus is in its exaltation sign. For those who have a natal retrograde Venus, this time period is definitely going to have an impact on these people. This is a repeat of March 2017. This was the last time when Venus was exalted and retrograde at the same time in the sign of Pisces, and it was also conjoined Mercury and Sun. And that point in time, they were aspected by Jupiter by the 7th aspect. So it was really expanding this conjunction. Rahu was thankfully not involved at that time, but this time Rahu is involved. So watch your obsessions, watch your decision making, watch your impulsiveness, and try to stay calm and let these energies pass. Of course, from a specific results point of view, it could be good for some, it could be not so good for some. That depends on your ongoing Dasha, Antardasha and the time period which you have and how these transits are supporting. But the point of view is Venus is gaining high Cheshta Bal. When a planet goes retrograde or Vakri, its 7th aspect is very strong because it brings in strong sense of desire. So throughout the next 43 days, Venus has a strong sense of desire, and this is what you need to channelize. Venus is aspecting the sign of Virgo, which is the natural 6th house of the zodiac belt. Venus desires us to put a lot of focus on our daily lives, things that we do on a day-to-day basis, our health and well-being most important. That should be the number one priority over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Relationship with other people, our intelligence, and the capacity to repay our debts that we have in this life of any kind. So it's a very karmic time. Stay away from any kind of overindulgence and take charge of the situation. Now let's talk about how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, you can also read this from your moon sign. I'm going to give you very simple tips. Keep it absolutely simple for you to understand and have some key takeaways that could help you over the next 43 days. Let's start with Aries ascendants. For Aries, Venus is your second lord and the seventh lord. It is making a long transit in the sign of Pisces. Now it is going retrograde in your 12th house. Venus rules family, kutumbha bhava, your speech, what you consume, what you eat, your wealth, your accumulation, what you store, the kind of people who you like to protect, and that is your family. Venus also rules your 7th house, which is the house of peace and also war, because this is called Jaya Bhava. And Venus rules your spouse, relationship, marriage, business, and agreements of all kinds, contracts of all kinds is ruled by Venus and is making a transit in the 12th house. Venus does well in this house because 12th house represents devotion, our sense of giving away, our sense of helping each other. And this particular time for the next 43 days, make sure that you donate. You donate something, and it could be good for you if you could donate items related to Venus. You could donate white sugar, or you could donate rice, or you could donate yogurt. So some of these things you could donate to places of worship or to those people who need. Another important donation you could make is in hospitals towards elderly or towards patients, those who need cure. So it could be support related to medicines or other items as well. Venus has a very strong aspect on your 6th house. Its 7th aspect. This Venus is behaving as if a Venus in the sign of Virgo. So it wants you to have a very clean character. This is what is expected. See, you're going to have major planets in your 12th house. So your decision making is going to be a test for the next few weeks, and this is something which you have to watch out for. So there are endings, there are new beginnings. There is a sense of renewed energy. If you want to understand yourself, if you want to understand your key strengths, opportunity areas, this is a very good time because you will be able to build your self-consciousness and the ability to know more about yourself, those hidden things, hidden talents, which you could leverage to the best of your potential. You need to do a lot of decluttering in your daily life, in your daily routine, and maintain a clean character. Stay away from enemies of the mind. For example, greed, lust, attachment, anger, and such kinds of enemies of the mind. You have to absolutely stay away from these and take charge of the situation, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Taurus ascendants. For Taurus, Venus becomes your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, and Lord of the 6th house. Venus rules yourself, your body, your overall immunity, your vitality, who you are. Your intelligence is seen from the 1st house. Venus also rules your 6th house of debts, diseases, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. We also see job from the 6th house. We see enemies of the mind from the 6th house, and we also see a break in the relationship from the 6th house because it is 12th from your 7th house, so loss as far as relationship is concerned. Now this Venus is making a transit already in your 11th house along with Mercury, Rahu. Sun will also be joining them very soon, and this is the time when I would expect Venus to mostly give you good results because it is the 11th house transit, and most of the time if Lagna Lord is making a transit in the 11th house, or any of the planet who rules some of the not so good houses making a transit in the 11th house, mostly delivers good results. This time Venus is going retrograde or Vakri. So firstly, it is looking back at your 10th house. So it wants you to maybe correct some actions, some decisions you took pertaining to your workplace, your business, or your job. Maybe in the past you made a wrong decision. This is the time to rectify, and maybe it wants you to resolve a conflict from the past and mend these ties and ensure that you build credible relationship. This Venus will be aspecting your 5th house. It will have a very strong sense of 7th aspect. Very strong desire are there in your 5th house. So one thing is certain, any mantras that you use over the next 43 days will be very helpful for you, particularly if it is the mantra related to goddess Lakshmi. So use a simple mantra, Om Lakshmi Nama, or you could read Shri Suktam on a daily basis to channelize these energies. Watch your obsession. You could be obsessed about things because 5th house represents love, and this love can turn into obsession. But 5th house love is all about unconditional love, and that is why we see children from the 5th house. It is a very good time for planning. So put your high energies in planning, in setting your goals. This is how you could channelize some of these energies and avoid any kind of conflicting situation with other people. Be careful of opposition or those people who are opposite to you, and you will sail through this time, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Gemini ascendants. What's happening with Gemini ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces. For you, Venus is the Yoga Karaka Graha, the only Yoga Karaka planet, because it's your 5th lord and it is also the 12th lord. 5th lord holds the most important disposition for any ascendant because this house represents your future, your progress. Positional success is seen from the 5th house. It is one of the Rajya Bhavas. Whether any mantra based remedies will work for you or not is determined from the 5th house and its lord, and what are the kind of remedies that will work for you. It is also your 12th lord of losses, expenditure, your higher self consciousness, your sleep, your overall mindfulness and perception towards the outer world. It is also the house of unlimited potential. This Venus is making a transit in your 10th house of Karya Bhava, your actions in the society, your duty, your job, work, along with Mercury, along with Rahu. Sun will be joining them, Saturn will be joining them, Moon will be joining them. There will be a 6th planetary conjunction in your 10th house. Workplace change is inevitable over the next 2 to 3 months. In case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, something's coming to an end, something is coming to a new beginning. So you're going to either stop a new project, close it down, start something new, or you're going to change jobs. But this Venus is aspecting your 4th house by a 7th aspect of desire. So for the next 43 days, Venus has a very strong sense of desire. This Venus will act as if it's a sign of Virgo, which means it's debilitated. So you have to consciously focus on workplace relationship and also situation at home. So manage your home, manage your work, because this could be a bit of a tricky phase for you and you might feel a situation of burnout. Prioritize your mindfulness, practice yoga, sadhana, and ensure that you're very clear about your personal priorities. One of the quick, simple remedies for you would be to declutter your house, clean it up, and donate those things which you don't need, and also clean up your workspace. Keep a white flower plant at your home or at your workplace, which will bring a lot of positivity, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Cancer ascendants and what's happening with Cancer ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which is happening in your 9th house. For you, Venus is the 4th lord and the 11th lord. It has a neutral disposition. 4th lord, so it rules one Kendra house, an important Kendra house, which is about your safety, security. It's your safe space because we see home from the 4th house, your assets, all the kind of fixed assets, your mother, your protection is seen from this house, and it represents your comfort space. Venus is also the 11th lord, the lord of income, your material gains, your wider social network, the ability to influence others. 11th house also brings in opposition, very strong opposition because it is 6th from your 6th house. This Venus is making a retrograde transit in the 9th house for the next 43 days. So firstly, it is looking back at your 8th house. So it wants you to think about last time when you had a transformation and what went wrong and how you could take the corrective step or the corrective action. Maybe you incurred losses in the past. What did you learn from it and how you can avoid this? It is very important for you for the next 43 days to stick to your dharma, either your religion, your belief system, and whoever you believe in, and stick to it. Do not deviate from the path of righteousness because dharma is very important in our life and it is everything. It could be an excellent time to learn something new because Venus represents all the kind of mundane practical knowledge which is quite useful for us as far as work is concerned. So this could be an excellent time for you to learn a skill or two that you can apply very quickly at the workplace. Venus is aspecting your third house, so you have to manage your communication. There is a sense of interaction which is coming here. It has a very strong sense of desire on your third house. If you have a mentor or a guru, and if it is of the opposite sex, this could be good for you because you take some message, some guidance from them. You could go on short journeys, you could go on long journeys, and if this journey or travel is related to spiritual pursuit, it could be quite beneficial for you. Journaling is another good remedy for you. Write about your things. Use your hands. Third house represents your hands. This Venus is acting as if it is in the sign of Virgo. It's debilitated. Not literally though, but this will help you channelize and bring this Venus back out of this state and help channelize these energies. So write about gratitude, things that you're grateful for, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Leo Ascendants. What's happening with Leo Ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces? For you, Venus is an important graha, but it's a neutral graha because it rules your 10th house of karma, work, your actions in the society, your profession, your job, what you do in order to survive and sustain yourself in this world. Venus has another lordship since it rules Taurus and Libra. It rules your third house of valor, courage, your co-bonds, particularly younger siblings, communication. Change is seen from the third house. Growth is seen from the third house because it is one of the Upajaya Bhavas. So if Leo Ascendants were need to apply free will or were need to grow in life, 3, 6, 10 and 11 houses matter a lot. So 2 of these 4 houses Venus rules. So Venus becomes quite important for you if you were to apply free will in terms of your change and transformation journey. This Venus has been making a transit in your 8th house in its exalted state, and now it will go retrograde or vakri. So firstly, it is looking back at your 7th house. So it wants you to think about last time when you messed up in a relationship and what did you learn and how you can fix and take some corrective steps to mend the ties. This is your opportunity to bring in a sense of harmony in your relationship, which you will not get for the next few years. So this is where you have to make the most of it. Venus is having a strong aspect on the 2nd house, 7th aspect of desire. Very high desires Venus is carrying around this time. So you definitely have to do some financial management, financial planning, because 2nd house represents your wealth, your accumulation, what you accumulate. You have to maybe play around with your savings, make some important decisions pertaining to your investment. This could be in the short or the long term. So make use of this time and the energies. You will thankfully develop a lot of softness in your speech. But some of the times it could be, due to mood swings, that you could have different kinds of moods or behaviors that you will have to channelize or deal with. Another important aspect for you during this time is that you have to focus on your lifestyle and your eating habits, because you could go through a sense of transformation in your eating routine, and this is something which you have to watch out for, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Virgo Ascendants and what's happening with Virgo Ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and this is happening in your 7th house of Jaya Bhava, peace and war, marriage, your spouse, relationship, those people, things and events who are opposite to you, and your attitude towards the outer world of people, things and events is seen from the 7th house. Venus is an important planet for you because it rules 2 important houses, your 2nd house and 9th house. In wealth related matters, Venus plays a very important role for Virgo Ascendants because it's your 2nd lord of accumulation, and we see wealth from this house. This is the Dhan Bhava. We see family, what you consume, what you eat, your speech, and what you store and who you would like to protect. It is also your 9th lord of Bhagya, Dharma, your fortune, long distance journey, higher education, spiritual education. Your father, guru or mentor is also seen from the 9th house. 9th house represents our lineage, our past karmas, and how it is manifested in the present life is represented by the 9th house. This Venus is making a transit in the 7th house. It is definitely forming a yoga, but while it goes retrograde, it wants you to look back at your 6th house and try to fix your daily routine. Maybe some mistakes you have made which has caused an impact on your relationship and your marital harmony in case you're married. So this could be your opportunity to fix some of those issues. Venus is going to be aspecting your ascendant by the 7th aspect of desire. So you definitely have to manage yourself. There is a sense of interaction because this Venus will act as if it's in the sign of Virgo, which is of course connected to your ascendant. So there is a sense of interaction which is coming here. This is your opportunity to build credible, long-lasting relationship and how you could benefit from these relationships. It could be a good time for your spouse, and your spouse could go out of the way to help you, to support you, because remember, Venus towards the end of the day is making a transit in the house where it is the significator of that house. It is the Karaka for the 7th house. This is also an excellent time for you to evolve your personality. So focus a lot on self-grooming, self-presentation, and be very conscious about your presence and how you can build your executive presence to influence a lot of people and people with authority in your life. And I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Libra ascendants. What's happening with Libra ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which is its exaltation sign. Venus is your ascendant lord of the ascendant. It rules yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. So it holds an important disposition. So whenever Venus goes retrograde, Taurus ascendants and Libra ascendants will definitely have an impact, even the moon signs. Venus also rules your 8th house, which is the house of longevity, suddenness in life, sudden changes or ups and downs, obstructions of life, and hidden places, secret places, research, occult, all those kind of subjects that involve a lot of research is seen from the 8th house. Venus has been making a transit in the 6th house. So 6th house, Venus attains a Maran Karak position, or it is more of a death-like position. So when it goes retrograde, it is a supportive window for you for the next 43 days, because it will no longer, behave as if it's Maran Karak, because Venus will have a very strong 7th aspect. So this Venus will behave as if it is in the sign of Virgo. So it is giving you Viparita Yoga, it is giving you Nicha Bhanga Yoga. So all of this is happening. But this time around, since it is not going to have so much effects of its Maran Karak, so it is gaining its significance for the next 43 days, which could help you improve your personality, which could help you be more aware of yourself and also improve your relationship with other people. So it is a progressive transit for the next 43 days. Venus has a very strong 7th aspect on the 12th house. So from a spiritual point of view, this is an excellent time. Any spiritual practices that you embrace, you will have long lasting effects and a long term impact that you will be able to build in your life. Please use some prayers, some mantras, meditation, sadhana to channelize these energies, because this way you will be able to take some very good decisions. This time period can also bring in a shift in your job or a change in your job, and this job could be a good job. This could put you in a better position if you try for it. So keep aiming for it. You need a sense of decluttering in your life, and most importantly, you need to build self-awareness. Understand your key strengths, pen them down, and try to build on your strengths, and that is how you will succeed, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Scorpio ascendants. What's happening with Scorpio ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which is happening in your 5th house. It is happening in a very important house, and you will have a number of planets conjoined in your 5th house. So for your future, the next few months are quite important for you to make some key decisions related to your future, because there will also be an eclipse in your 5th house. So regardless of your dasha antardasha, I think it is going to have an impact on you. Venus for you is your 7th lord and the 12th lord. So it plays a very important role in your interaction with other people, your relationship. 7th house is the Jaya Bhava. We see peace and war. It represents your spouse, business partnership, agreements of all kind. It also rules your 12th house, which is the house of losses, expenditure, isolated places. Your higher self-consciousness is seen from the 12th house. This Venus has been making a direct transit in the sign of Pisces in your 5th house. Now it is going retrograde for the next 43 days. It is looking back at your 4th house. It wants you to take some corrective actions or decisions pertaining to your home or your relationship with your mother. So this is something which you have to consider around this time. Maybe you made some changes in your house which you were not supposed to. So you have to look back and of course make those corrective actions, and something you were not very pleasant with as far as your decision is concerned. So this Venus will have a very strong 7th aspect on your 11th house, because it's retrograde now in the 5th house. It has a very strong 7th aspect of desire. So this could create a sense of conflict with others. particularly with your friends. So this is something which you have to watch out for. Make sure that you keep a check on your temperament and you keep your ego aside when you're dealing with others and you're getting into a conflicting situation or a negotiation situation. You look at all aspects and how you can achieve a win-win situation. So besides that, it is going to give you a lot of progress from a work point of view, because this time period could give you positional success, could give you authority, but at the same time it could make you egoistic, and these are some energies that you have to channelize. Mantras are a must for Scorpio ascendants over the next few weeks, either related to Jupiter or Sun, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Sagittarius ascendant and what's happening with Sagittarius ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which is happening in your 4th house. So as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of 4th house, it is looking back at your 3rd house. So it wants you to re-evaluate either your change or some efforts that you made around a task and how it helped you in order to achieve a comfortable situation and bring in a sense of peace. And if it didn't bring, there is something that you have taken away from as a learning, and this is something which you have to fix for the next 43 days and put more efforts in order to sail through this change. Venus is your 6th lord and the 11th lord, so it rules not so good houses, and it's a potent malefic for Sagittarius ascendants because it shares an inimical relationship with your Lagna lord Jupiter. 6th lord of daily routines, deaths and diseases, your enemies of the mind, your competition, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. We also see job and we also see growth from the 6th house. We also see growth from the 11th house because these two are Upachaya bhavas. So Venus plays a very important role when it comes to growth and a sense of free will. 11th house also represents your income and bigger opposition. Bigger enemies are also seen from the 11th house. This Venus is making a retrograde transit in your 4th house. So Venus gains directional strength in the 4th house. So it is Digbali. There are blessings of Ma Lakshmi or goddess during this time. So this is a time when you have to make the most of it. But for the next 43 days, this Venus will ensure that you step out of your comfort zone when it comes to work related matters, because Venus is having a strong 7th aspect of desire on your 10th house. So work related change is inevitable over the next few weeks. In case you're looking for a new job or a new opportunity, something is coming to an end and there is a new opportunity which should be waiting for you. Whether this will be good for you or not would depend on your ongoing dasha anta dasha. But this time period will also help you to be very much involved in work related relationships, because there is relationship karma, their relationship dynamics are changing at workplace. 2 remedies for you. One is to declutter your house, make sure it is clean, tidy, and your workspace. Most importantly, you have to declutter your workspace, keep it neat, organized, clean, and this is how you will be attract a lot of positive energies and try to improve your work environment, where your communication and interaction will play a very important role, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Capricorn ascendants and what's happening with Capricorn ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and this is happening in your 3rd house of valor, your desires, change, courage is seen from the 3rd house, communication is seen from the 3rd house. While Venus goes retrograde, this Venus is your 5th lord and the 10th lord. It is a Yoga Karaka planet for you, one of the most important planet, because it rules 2 Rajya Bhavas or 2 houses of kingdom that represent your progress. 5th house of mantras, your future, children, unconditional love, and this house also represents a sense of corruption as well, because with power comes corruption. 10th house is workplace, your work, your job, your duties, your karma, actions in the society. Why are you there in this world? And of course, work related matters, your profession and everything related to it is seen from the 10th house and its lord. Venus is now going retrograde in your 3rd house for the next 43 days. It is looking back at your 2nd house firstly, and it wants you to reevaluate some decisions that you have taken related to your finances. It could be related to your money or related to your eating habits, something that you have adopted over the last few months, and now is the time that you have to re-evaluate those decisions, either related to what you consume or your finances. So make sure that you're channelizing these energies appropriately. While Venus is making a retrograde transit in your 3rd house, it is looking at your 9th house, by its strong 7th aspect of desire. So Venus wants you to watch your dharma and be the protector of your dharma. So make sure that you stick to the path of righteousness. This time around, you must get some Guru Upadesha or message, teaching, or blessings from your mentor, guru, teacher, or idol, someone who you look up to. This could also be your father or your mother as well. So, any of the parent. So, make sure that you get their blessings and guidance, because you will need a sense of direction to stick to the path of righteousness. Otherwise, these desires would be very high. That could lead to corruption, that could lead to thinking around lust, and these are some of the emotions which you have to counter during this time and get some guidance. Most importantly, journal. Write about gratitude. Third house represents your hand. Think about past achievements and what you're grateful for, and how you can have even greater achievements in your future, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Aquarius ascendants and what's happening with Aquarius ascendants as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces for the next 43 days. On 2nd of March this is happening. Venus is your 4th lord and the 9th lord. So Venus represents both your mother and father. Therefore, I always say that Aquarius ascendants naturally have a karma towards their parents that they can never run away from, and they should not run away from it, because this is a very secret remedy for Aquarius ascendants. It is your 4th lord, the lord of mother, your home, your protection, your safe space, the space where you feel most happy, most content, and most protected. It also represents your assets, your home. It is also your 9th lord of Bhagya, long journeys, your father, spirituality, higher education is seen from the 9th house. This Venus is making a retrograde transit now in your 2nd house of wealth, your family, speech, your consumption, what you accumulate. Firstly, this Venus is looking back at your ascendant, at your 1st house. So it wants you to re-evaluate some decisions that you have taken which are related to yourself, which have a very direct relation to yourself. It could be related to your lifestyle, your physical wellness, your health and well-being, some change that you have brought in, and now is the time for you to re-evaluate, reassess whether it is working for you or not. And if it is not working, what is the missing element that is there? And this is where you could take support of your spouse or your family, because they will be there to support you. Okay, this Venus is aspecting your 8th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So very strong sense of desire Venus has on the 8th house, which represents your transformation, sudden changes. Transformation is inevitable, but during this transformation journey, you will have to manage your finances. You will have to manage a certain sense of uncertainty that could come in your mind. And this is how you need to strengthen your mind. Worship Goddess Lakshmi or chant a simple Vishnu mantra. That could be Om Vishnave Nama, or a Lakshmi mantra that could be Om Lakshmi Nama, and you will be able to channelize your transformation positively, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Pisces ascendant and what's happening with Pisces as Venus goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces itself, and that is happening in your ascendant. Venus unusually is spending a lot more time in your ascendant this year, so there is power of interaction, beauty, abundance, and along with Mercury and Rahu that are also making a transit. Now when this Venus goes retrograde, it is looking back at your 12th house. So it wants you to re-evaluate some decisions that you have taken which are related to your health and well-being. This is your opportunity to fix your sleep in case you're having sleep related issues, which could bring in a sense of well-being and help to put your life back on track, because if you sleep well, you will have a lot of energy through the day, and if you have a lot of energy through the day, you could do a lot of tasks, you could achieve bigger and greater goals. Venus is your 3rd lord and the 8th lord. It is though a potent malefic for you because it rules the 3rd house, which is the house of efforts, valor, courage, your younger co-borns, change, and the 8th house of uncertainty, also longevity, sudden changes, sudden ups and downs in life, secret spaces. Your hidden sense of desires is also seen from the 8th house. This Venus is making a retrograde transit in your ascendant. So definitely it's quite a transformation time for yourself and most importantly for your relationship. This is a 43 days window that you're getting to fix your relationship, to mend your relationship. And this could also be your business or any sort of agreements that you have which are related to partnership in business, because Venus has a strong 7th aspect on your 7th house. So something that you've done in the past that has had a negative impact on your relationship, now is your time to fix it. Be a good listener. Don't interrupt others. Listen to others and then put your point across. This is a golden tip that I'd like to share with you, and how it could help you, because sometimes we are very much excited to put our point across, and which causes a friction. So of course, if you follow this advice, you'll be able to mend good relationships. This is also a time to improve your personality, personal grooming, personal development, because there's the power of communication and interaction that are making a transit in your ascendant. So such are these energies. Your transformation is inevitable over the next couple of months, because your ascendant or lagna will be involved in an eclipse, and there'll be a great conjunction of 6 planets. Worship Lord Shiva, use a simple mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya, and you will be able to sail through and channelize these positive energies, and I wish you the very best. So friends, this was yet another simple and unique video on Venus and its retrograde transit in the sign of Pisces, which is not going to happen for the next few years. I hope and believe Venus's retrograde transit in the sign of Pisces makes us more devoted towards the Almighty and plays an important role for us to support others by making donations in the best of our capacity, and also in improving our relationship, because this time is all about reflecting on your current relationship and how you can improve it. Thank you very much. God bless you all.